My memory is as good as it ever was, Severus.
Unless you're Hermione and you pull out your wand and you do a super secret, super difficult spell. Alohomora.
Welcome back, witches, wizards, and muggles, to Squib's Corner. I am Jeremiah.
And I'm Andrew, and tonight we're jumping into maybe my favorite chapter of Book 3, Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban, Chapter 21, Hermione's Secret.
Yeah, you always get the big chapters.
This is the biggest chapter of the book, and a lot happens. So before we move forward with 21, before we recap Chapter 20, The Dementor's Kiss, we just want to give a huge shout out to everybody that's listening, everybody that's watching. Squib's Corner. If you haven't gotten us on all the platforms, do it anywhere you get your podcast. This is such a fun journey. We've had so many more listeners. We've had a lot more comments, likes, subscribes, and people have been sharing the podcast with people that they think love Harry Potter and the Wizarding World as much as we do and as much as you do. So again, huge thank you. Thank you for being on this journey with us.
Yes, it's great.
Super fun. So Jeremiah, before we recap Chapter 20, we have a special guest for this evening who should be jumping in at any time.
Hey, there we go.
Yay!
And if you guys can't see, it is Olivia back to join us on the podcast. Yes.
Yay!
Oh, yeah. Are we going to clap? Are we going to clap? Oh,
I clap.
That's terrible. That's
You're
terrible.
too much.
That's
So
great.
Andrew and I were asking each other earlier when we tried to do this the first time, what house are you in? Let's see if we were right. We try to come off the dome and see.
Ooh, so you guys have your answers?
Yes.
Can I know your answers first so I know you're not lying?
So we both decided with Ravenclaw, but I'm a little nervous with the color shirt that you're wearing.
You would be correct. I am a Ravenclaw.
Ah!
You guys got it. No, this is an iconic Sorcerer's Stone shirt that I'm sporting today, just for some funsies. So
Okay,
yeah.
There we go.
There
Love
you
it.
go. Yeah.
Love it.
Yes.
See?
And if you guys don't remember, I'll try to remember to put her first episode in the description. If you guys want to go back and listen to that, we asked her all the fun questions. I don't know if we have any questions this time. We've never had a reoccurring guest.
man, I'm a has-been. I'm ready.
History has
I'm
been
a local at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah. There you go. She just stops on by whenever she wants to.
There we go. Yes.
We love it.
Hey,
We love
man, the more the merrier. It's great. It's great. And this is a great chapter that you jumped in on.
Now, did you remember to make your 7-word summary?
I'm a Ravenclaw, please.
Oh, yeah.
My apologies. My
Sorry.
apologies.
I got that.
That was on 5 points from Gryffindor. Yeah.
Correct.
Oh.
Don't worry. We're near the end of the book. Dumbledore will give all the points back to us anyway.
Inevitably, it's not a problem. Yeah.
Did you have any questions for us before we jump into the recap?
So I know that you said I only really needed to recap chapter 21. However, I fear I just went ahead and read the whole book so that I was good.
Yeah, the last couple chapters we've listened to, both of us have listened to the rest of the book.
Yes. Yes.
It's so
I
good.
get it. So I feel like I am nice and caught up. I have questions for you guys when we start talking about content, and I wrote them down because I'm really interested about y'all's perspectives. But to start, I feel good.
All right, I'm excited. I'm ready.
it.
All right, Andrew, spin us into this recap.
Okay, so we got to rewind back to chapter 20, The Dementor's Kiss, which is almost the preamble to chapter 21. It's the shortest chapter of the book. Everything
took an hour
happened
to write it out.
Yeah, everything happened in the Shrieking Shack, and now we're leaving the Shrieking Shack. You think everything's good. Lupin, a very powerful wizard, thought that the best way to contain an animagus is for handcuffs. So there's that. And Ron, who has a broken leg, is on the other side of the handcuffs when it comes to Peter Pettigrew. They go through They go through the tunnel from the Shrieking Shack back to the Whomping Willow. You've got Hermione there. You've got Snape unconscious, dangling in midair, being controlled by Sirius Black, who is not on purpose, completely accidentally making Snape hit his head over and over and over
I
again.
love it.
And we have this chat, right? We have this chat between Sirius and Harry, like, hey, I don't know if anybody told you, I'm your godfather. And Harry's like, yeah, but I have heard that. And he's like, well, sweet. When everything gets settled, you could come live with me. And Harry's like, absolutely, 100%. I would much rather live with the man that 30 minutes ago I thought was a convicted felon.
Yeah, there's a lot of blind trust in the Harry Potter series.
To the Dursleys. And then they make it out. They make it out of the Whomping Willow. And though it is already a full moon.
Yeah.
Though it is already a full moon, the clouds part, revealing the full moon, and then Lupin turns into a werewolf. So then chaos breaks loose. Sirius transforms into Padfoot. He tries to get Lupin away, tells them to run away. While this is happening, Peter Pettigrew's like, this is my chance. He dives on a wand. Sounds like he stupefies Ron. He transforms. He's gone. They hear Sirius yelping. They run after him. And he is in human form, being surrounded by hundreds of Dementors. Harry tries to save him with the Patronus charm. He even tries to tell Hermione to do it, who's never attempted this. And now there's 100 Dementors there.
No pressure.
And no pressure, Hermione.
No pressure.
Just go ahead and jump in 2 feet, right?
Yeah.
They fail. But before Harry passes out, he sees the Dementors stop. Because one of the Dementor is about to give Harry the Dementor's kiss.
Oh, hood down and everything.
They stop, and then there's something shiny coming, and it's charging, making all the Dementors go away, and he sees it go back across the lake, and somebody's there that he thinks he recognizes, and then boom, we're out.
Yeah.
Done with the chapter.
Did you listen to our last episode, Olivia?
Last episode I listened to is Cat, Rat, Dog.
Okay, so the last chapter, it was a great chapter. A lot of issues within the chapter that we found.
Just some inconsistencies. One being the full moon and werewolf effect.
Yeah.
Whether it just has to be a full moon or whether you have to be exposed to the full moon.
Yeah, which according to the series up until this point, it just needs to be a full moon with no exposure. So he should have already been a werewolf when he went to the Shrieking Shack to begin with.
As soon as the sun goes down.
Yeah.
So this is something that I was ready to discuss with you two.
You were ready. Yeah, we know. You're a Ravenclaw. We know.
So let's go there, shall we?
Let's go there.
Yeah.
All right. On page 400, it is apparently June 6th of 1994 when Buckbeak is set to be executed.
D-Day.
So I obviously had to research what moon phase it was, June 6th, 1994.
Okay. Yeah.
And it is what is called a waning crescent. And it is just a tiny little sliver.
Not a full
So, two possible and most popular theories. Number one, J.K. Rowling overlooked it. Number two, the Wizarding World follows a different moon phase cycle. A lunar calendar based on magical cycles rather than physics. Offsets caused by magical interference. Since magic can affect celestial objects like artificial weather in Hogwarts, fans speculate the moon's magical influence may not perfectly match Muggle astronomy.
Oh.
I fear she overlooked it. Because
I think she just overlooked it.
I have looked, and in other books, September 1st doesn't always follow the correct day that she's saying September 1st would have followed on that year. Sure. I don't know, but there's one other theory that's really far-fetched, and it's about the werewolf transformation you guys have kind of touched base on. And it's just, is the moon magically full? But even still, I know a lot about moon phases now. And I researched it, even if a lot. And even if that theory, that third kind of off-putting theory is the case at a waning crescent, the moon is already 100% illuminated, so it still doesn't make sense. And like you said, Andrew, it really only happened when he visually saw the moon.
Yeah.
So I just have a feeling it was an oversight.
Just a little oversight.
Well, the other issue that Andrew had pointed out is when Sirius went down, he's at the lake, right? Where all the Dementors were. Why did he transform back into human, not just stay a dog?
That's how he escaped from Azkaban in the first place.
Yeah.
He explained it to us that they can't sense animal emotions. Now, but I like Jeremiah brought up the fact that maybe he was too weak to remain in his animagus form, right?
Fair. Yeah.
He and Lupin, who he had just brawled with a werewolf, because Harry and Hermione, they hear him yelping.
Yeah,
and that was a third. That was a third issue with the chapter.
Yeah, and then it was, all the Dementors are there, but he's so weak at that point he can't. But yeah, I think I would have done everything in my power to stay in animagus form.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, let's go ahead and move forward now with our 7-word summaries.
Let's do some 7-word summaries.
Olivia, you're the guest. Let's hear yours first.
All right. My 7-word summary for Chapter 21, Hermione's Secret. 2 Harrys, 1 night, 0 adult supervision.
That's one of the themes of the book. Yeah,
it truly is.
Yes, I like it.
Yep.
What you got,
Andrew?
Jeremiah?
I'll go. Man, I came up with 3 of them, and I'll go with the latter. 2 lives depend on 13-year-olds.
Yes.
That's great.
Yeah.
I wanted to come up with a 7-word summary where I bash any plot that has time travel.
Okay. Did you?
I did not, because I'm a positive and upbeat person.
Oh, okay. So you're positive, we're negative. Cool.
But no, you didn't. You guys, that wasn't negative. It wasn't negative. I said bashing, not talking about the time traveling in the chapter, but time travel as a plot in a book opens up so many.
So many.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So my very positive and upbeat 7-word summary is Harry and Hermione living deja vu.
I like it.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Kept it
Yeah.
simple. So now this chapter, I thought it was going to be more difficult to do the 7 chapter notables, but there are some pretty good ones that stand out. So number 1, the time turner, right? That's pretty big. Number 2, Hermione's secret. Number 3, a side quest. Number 4, 1 innocent life saved. Number 5, from father to foreshadow.
Ooh.
Number 6, Harry did it. And number 7, 2 innocent lives saved.
That's pretty
amazing.
Good.
All right, so we're going to jump into this first paragraph. Obviously, Jeremiah, as you see, I'm going to need your help.
Yes, and Olivia, just like last time, jump in, interrupt us, cut us off, whatever.
Anytime. We love the perspective and thought-provoking questions.
We took a 7.5 page chapter and turned it into an hour-long episode, so
Incredible.
we got
That's
time to
skill.
talk.
I love it. Let's do it.
Jim Dale listened to that episode. What are they talking about? I got through this chapter in no time. What are they doing? Okay. So, the beginning, first paragraph of chapter 21, Hermione's Secret. Shocking business. Shocking. Miracle, none of them died. Never heard the like. By thunder, it was lucky you were there, Snape.
Thank you, Minister.
Order of Merlin. 2nd class, I'd say. 1st class, if I can wrangle it.
Thank you very much indeed, Minister.
Nasty cut you've got there. Black's work, I suppose.
As a matter of fact, it was Potter, Weasley, and Granger, Minister.
No.
Oh, I couldn't tell if she was
Olivia's all over the
laughing or
place.
moving
Olivia's
stuff
all over. I
around.
don't know what
You
was
know
happening.
my
That was
cat's
exciting.
got to jump into frame. You know
I was like, that had to have been a cat. Had to have been a cat.
Dang it, Crookshanks. So we start this chapter by listening to Cornelius Fudge and Snape going back and forth about this evening's events while Harry, Ron, and Hermione are laying in a hospital wing. Fudge is congratulating Snape, all the while Snape is completely disregarding anything that Lupin, Black, or the Golden Trio tried to tell him while in the Shrieking Shack. And remember, he was there. He was there majority of the time listening, and he's like, nope. Listen to these kids believe this cock and bull story.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, that was good, Jeremiah. That was good.
Snape says that the children were under a confundus charm.
Whoa.
I feel like it's been a while since we've had a pop quiz, and
That
Olivia,
is
you could
true.
jump
And
in on this
that's
too.
sad because I wrote this script and there are no pop quizzes in this script.
What does a confundus charm do?
What a softball.
Well, you know what? It's all good. Hey, we haven't had pop quizzes in a while. I had to put something in there.
Well, it's, usually to confound is an English word. So this Latin word confundus, I feel like there's a very short bridge connecting the two.
I had to make sure the listeners knew what the spell meant.
It's valid. It's valid.
Okay.
We're going to have to
So-
go with maybe confuse.
It
Confused?
confuses
Yeah.
the victim.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And obviously, Snape says it's from Black's doing. And we're claiming that Sirius Black was innocent.
Mhm.
Snape even tries to get Harry suspended for his actions, including going to Hogsmeade. He has to just throw that in there.
I know. He comes up with a whole rap sheet for Harry.
Slimy. He's slimy.
Snape is trying hard. Like, oh, I get
Yes.
Order of Merlin. Can I also get Harry Potter suspended?
Harry and Hermione were awake and they were able to overhear the conversation going on. Then Fudge mentions the irregularity of the Dementors and asks Snape if he had any idea what made them retreat. Of course, Snape didn't know because he was knocked out, right? He
Mhm.
tells the minister that when he got to Black, Harry and Hermione, they were all unconscious and the Dementors were already heading back to their post. He then bound Black and created stretchers for Harry and Hermione and brought them all up to the castle.
Seems believable enough.
Yeah.
If you're
yeah.
dumb like Cornelius Fudge.
Yes. And Snape has no clue what happened.
I
Fudge
love
is like, I believe you. I believe you.
I almost did a chapter notable here. Chapter notable number 1 was going to be Madame Pomfrey's domain.
Oh,
She
she was so
like,
mad.
Fired up.
she gets so fiery here,
Yeah.
right? Madame Pomfrey is the school nurse that you want.
Yes.
And
Right.
real quick, Olivia, have you listened to the dramatized versions of the audiobooks yet?
No, that sounds incredible. Is her voice
Okay.
amazing? Oh no. Oh no.
We'll let you go and see how you
Okay.
like the book. And then you could come back and we'll do an
Yeah.
episode about
Yeah.
how
Well-
you feel about the
How you
series.
feel?
Yeah.
We'll follow
How you
up.
feel?
We'll follow up.
Yeah.
I have recently started listening to those before we do the chapter review, so
That's a great
something
idea.
different to listen to. Yeah.
I want to throw this in really quick because as a recap, from my previous episode, I am a middle school teacher, so I do work closely with 13-year-olds.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. And you
And
know
they,
what,
they all
though?
try to solve problems all by themselves with disregard to any rules or
Oh
adults.
my God, never.
They would
You know
never
what,
do that.
though? There have been times where I have an adult, Snape, and I have children. And I truly believe the children. I truly do. I do not always believe said adult. And Fudge is just such an interesting character by himself. But like for anyone saying I would never have believed in the kids anyway, Snape was the adult. I don't care. I am a Fudge sometimes. And sometimes I believe the children over the adult. So like I'm playing devil's advocate, but I don't think it's that far-fetched for the children to be desperately wanting to tell their side of the story and to be frustrated thinking that no one would believe them. Yeah. And I remember being 13. I remember what that feels like. I'm like, hey, wait, I'm not an idiot. Well, but you know,
in most situations,
correct. But so I can, you know, I get where their perspective is coming from when she's shushing him to stay quiet so they can keep eavesdropping. I'll vouch for the kids on that one. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I've got a 14-year-old, and she, my oldest daughter, and she's very well spoken. You know, she's very well spoken, and she's a smart girl. And so when we're around adults and she, you know, has input, when we're at home and she has input, my wife and I, listen, what do you got to say? Yeah. So when we're out with other adults and she, you know, has input, and some adults are like, oh no, you wouldn't understand the situation. Yes. I have to bite my tongue. I'm like, why would you automatically assume that?
Yeah, exactly. Kids are smarter than what a lot of people give them credit for.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Okay. So, where were we? Madame Pomfrey. So we're in the hospital wing. Harry and Hermione are awake. Ron is not awake. Harry and Hermione are awake, and they're listening to Fudge and Snape talk about the Sirius Black situation. And so Madame Pomfrey walks over, and she sees that Harry and Hermione are awake. And what's the first thing she wants to give them because they passed out from a Dementor attack?
Big, huge brick of chocolate.
Just give me all the chocolate. I don't know
breaking
if
it
I
apart
were
with
a
a
Hogwarts,
hammer.
Yeah, I mean, if I was a Hogwarts student, probably once or twice a month, I'd go to the hospital wing and be like, I think I saw a Dementor, Madame Pomfrey. Saw a Dementor. You got any of that chocolate you can give me?
How do you always have chocolate? Watch this.
And then it just becomes our thing, you know, Madame Pomfrey and me. Our chocolate dates is what we call it. So she gives him the chocolate, and she informs Harry and Hermione. She's like, look, everything's going to be okay. Fudge is here. Snape got you guys up here. And don't worry, Black is going to go, or Black is going to have the Dementor's kiss any moment now. So obviously, Harry and Hermione jump out of bed, and Fudge hears this. Fudge comes in. Snape comes in. Harry and Hermione immediately, you know, fire hose right there, trying to say everything. Black is innocent. Lupin was there to help. Peter Pettigrew, Scabbers, and, you know, doing all of this stuff. But Snape had already convinced Fudge. Snape had convinced Fudge that if they're confounded, right, if they're confused, no matter what they say, Fudge is just going to be like, God, you know, calm down. Just, you know, calm down.
Do you think Snape did a good job convincing Fudge?
Well, here's the thing. Snape's the one that walked up with the convicted murderer and 3 injured children.
Yeah.
So Snape comes up to the castle as a hero.
Not too much explaining needed.
Yeah, they've been looking for Sirius Black for a year, you know, a school year, a full term. Yeah. They've been looking for Sirius Black for months, and now Snape's got him and the kids. So Snape already comes in like, wow, what'd you do? Oh my gosh, here's what I saw. The kids, they were, you know, so I think it would be easy in that point for the minister to be like, I get it.
Yeah.
But while this is going on, Professor Dumbledore enters the hospital wing, which annoys Madame Pomfrey even more. The headmaster of the school here comes in, and she's like, look, I don't want 1 visitor. I definitely don't want 3 visitors. Can I please take care of my patients? She even tries to tell Dumbledore to leave.
Yeah.
But in like true how we all envision Dumbledore, he very calmly tells her that I need to speak with Mr. Potter and Miss Granger alone. And then we learn that he had just come from speaking to Sirius Black. Well, Snape, hearing this, is like, no, Snape doesn't like it, and now he's fighting his case to not believe Sirius Black, even going so far as to say, I suppose he's told you the same fairy tale he's planted in Potter's mind. Something about a rat and Pettigrew being alive. And then Dumbledore's like, yeah, actually, as a matter of fact, that's what Black told me. And that's what the kids are saying. That's what Black is saying. So again, if you don't mind, I would like to speak with Harry and Hermione alone. And then Madame Pomfrey, it says like she goes into her office, slams the door behind her. Fudge, Snape, they leave the hospital wing, but not before Snape tried one more time to convince Dumbledore, like, don't believe anything that Sirius Black told you.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then Dumbledore just says, I wish to speak to Harry and Hermione alone.
Did you put your hand in a goblet of fire?
Thank you. Someone has to say it.
Somebody calm Dumbledore.
Yes.
That is a note that I literally wrote down. And if you look, based on what version you have, but are roughly around page 392, 393, look at the adverbs. Quietly, slowly, speaking very low. And, you know, there is psychology behind this. And if you are in any type of situation and there's someone trying to get information across to you and they're like, but then you have someone who is just very calm and just very, very poised, you're more likely to listen and follow them. So something I wrote down was, this was really the first time where Harry was taken aback, because at this point that we're discussing, Dumbledore's kind of like, it's over, sorry. And Harry, it says, you know, he feels like the ground is falling out from beneath him. He can't believe it. And then, of course, we have a solution because it's Dumbledore. But Dumbledore's calmness and just the way that he handles situations and just grabs your whole attention, I really think it's a little manipulative of Harry. And I think that's why he can get Harry to trust and believe him for so long. I am not a Dumbledore stan, so I apologize to anyone listening that loves him. And maybe it's just
you're talking. I love Dumbledore.
It is just. I think it's a manipulation tactic. Sorry, I think it is.
But he doesn't just do it to Harry.
He doesn't.
Right? So if you look throughout the entire series, he is very calm to even Tom Riddle, right? Even when the Sirius Black has been killed, we are in the Ministry. Voldemort's ready to blow everything up. You shouldn't have come here tonight, Tom.
Yeah.
It was bad. That is his MO. The man that cannot be pushed past his emotional limits.
Who else has the same kind of calm, cool, collected demeanor as Dumbledore, Olivia?
In the books?
Yeah. We talk about it all the time.
I would. Oh, okay. I know. Yeah, I know the answer.
Someone that you guys think is calm, cool, and collected?
Even when he's angry, he's calm.
Are you going with Hagrid?
No.
I should not have said that. I should not have said that.
Huh. From a book perspective. Are you going with Voldemort?
No.
No, definitely not Voldemort.
No.
Man. What do you guys think? Who do you think he aligns with?
I know exactly who he's talking about, and I would agree. I would agree with the overall assessment. Remus Lupin.
Oh, but he's so GQ. Like, that man is so cool. Like, truly, actually, Lupin is my favorite character.
Yes, he is a fan favorite.
Truly,
yes,
he has a bad moment that but we all do. His is pretty bad. His is pretty bad. but he redeems himself, and I will defend that man. So I like that. I like that because you know what? He has every right to be so angry, doesn't he? And he's not. You're absolutely right. That's a beautiful analogy, really.
Yeah.
Yeah. Man.
All right, back to the chapter. I wish to speak to Harry and Hermione alone.
Sirius Black showed he was capable of murder at the age of 16. You haven't forgotten that, Headmaster. You haven't forgotten that he once tried to kill me.
My memory is as good as it ever was, Severus.
Oh my gosh.
My memory is as good as it ever was, Severus. Snape left and Dumbledore turned to face Harry and Hermione. Both of them immediately began to hurriedly tell Dumbledore everything that happened that night, to which he asked them to be quiet and listen. It's your turn to listen, and I beg you will not interrupt me, because there is very little time, he said quietly.
He said quietly.
Quietly.
Yes.
There is not a shred of proof to support Black's story, except your word. And the word of 2 13-year-old wizards will not convince anybody. A street full of eyewitnesses swore they saw Sirius murder Pettigrew. I myself gave evidence to the ministry that Sirius had been the Potter's secret keeper.
But Professor Lupin can tell you.
Professor Lupin is currently deep in the forest, unable to tell anyone anything. By the time he is human again, it will be too late. Sirius will be worse than dead. I might add that werewolves are so mistrusted by most of our kind that his support will count for very little. And the fact that he and Sirius are old friends... Situation didn't seem very good. Werewolves are untrusted by most wizarding kind, and it's known that Lupin and Black were old friends, so Lupin's testimony is not going to do much. Sticking up for your old friend, huh? Well, and I like to think that's part of why Lupin is in the state that he is in. He's worried about this situation for 12 years, trying to have it all make sense.
Sure.
Absolutely.
Then Dumbledore pressed upon them that he believes Sirius and them, but that he's powerless to convince other men without the necessary proof, much less overrule the Minister of Magic.
Right.
But don't worry. Later in this series, you'll learn about Veritas Serum and harvesting memories to look and be interactive in them. But not this book. Not this situation.
But again, Fudge. Would you think that would work with Fudge? That would be enough to convince Fudge that denies proof right in front of him?
So I wrote a note about this because I knew one of you were going to bring it up. I knew it.
Crotchety old men.
I knew it was going to happen. So I did some digging, and JK has commented on this insane loop, and just insane loophole she has created. And this is her explanation behind like this situation. Why could they not have taken, some truth serum? She said to think of it more so as a human lie detector test, and how that cannot be taken at 100% face value. The serum is only going to expose what you believe to be true, and skilled witches and wizards can counter its effect. Someone like Snape, or later on Mrs. Malfoy, could really alter the results of it, and that's how she kind of explains away these loopholes with the serum.
That's a pretty cool loophole, though.
It's great. And
that's a pretty cool loophole.
Yeah.
Well, we've also learned that you can alter your own memory. So
there we go. Slughorn. Yeah. There we go.
Yeah.
I'm okay with it.
Harry and Hermione and Ron wouldn't be able to alter their memories between the time that the Shrieking Shack and now.
I assume you can't just do that. It's probably very complicated to do.
Well, even Slughorn was a very powerful wizard.
Yeah.
And even his memory modification was
Wasn't that good,
crude
yeah.
at best.
Yeah.
So, but I like the Veritaserum. I've never heard the Veritaserum loophole. You will only tell the truth of what you truly believe, not
It makes
necessarily
sense.
the factual truth.
Yeah.
Just like
That's
a lie
pretty cool.
detector. Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it makes sense.
I liked
pretty
it.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So after Dumbledore tells this to Harry and Hermione, Harry was pretty much at the point where, okay, all hope is lost. If Dumbledore, the guy that we know can take care of everything, can't take care of this, it's pretty bleak. But then Dumbledore turns up the Dumbledore mode and he goes cryptic. What we need is more time. Harry's like, all right. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, Dumbledore, we sure do. We sure do.
Way to point out the obvious.
More time could really be beneficial here. That
It'd be great.
Yeah. Yes, Professor. And then Hermione is like, okay. Cool. I got you, Dumbly. So Dumbledore. So then Dumbledore leaves them with basically their mission. Now pay attention. Sirius is locked in Professor Flitwick's office on the 7th floor, 13th window from the right of the West Tower. Number one, I don't like that description whatsoever. East, west, are we taking a compass on this? Didn't like that at all.
You know what? I've worked concrete jobs. I drove concrete mixers, and I get on the radio. Which direction am I supposed to go? East. Which
east.
direction is east?
I hate it so much. I hate it so much.
One person's east is another person's west. So I've had people tell me to go east, so I go east, and they go, no, the other east. I'm like, you idiot.
Yeah, I can't do it.
Just tell me left or right.
So 13th window from the right of the West Tower. If all goes well, you will be able to save more than one innocent life tonight. But remember this, both of you, you must not be seen. Miss Granger, you know the law. You know what it is. You know what is at stake. You must not be seen. I'm going to lock you in. It is 5 minutes to midnight. Miss Granger, 3 turns should do it. Good luck. Harry has absolutely no clue what's going on here. And I love it.
And to this, Dumbledore's like, I talked to Sirius for a couple minutes. I believe him. I believe you. After a couple of minutes. Didn't take much convincing, Dumbledore.
Could have done that 12 years ago, my man.
Well, I mean, you remember, Dumbledore knows Sirius well.
Yeah.
Not just from school, but from the Order.
Yeah.
Sirius knows, and which makes you think. So for the longest time, that I thought that Dumbledore was the one that did the Fidelius charm, but it had to have been James or Lily that did the Fidelius charm, if not even. Because it sounded like the Order had decided, at least Dumbledore was in the decision making of Sirius Black was going to be the Secret Keeper.
Okay.
So it had to have been James or Lily that did the Fidelius charm with Peter.
But
otherwise
just
there
like
would be another
Dumbledore.
witness.
Yeah, but it's just like Dumbledore to like, oh, that's what happened? Okay. Like,
He's also a skilled legilimens. You got to remember that.
And he throws in and says, you know, Sirius has not acted like an innocent man.
yeah.
Cue the iconic mugshot from the movie.
Yeah.
Why does he do that? Why does he do that? Why?
Yeah.
Why does he do it?
Do you follow Matt Bentley on TikTok?
No, I have to look him up.
He's hilarious. He does all sorts of Harry Potter skits.
Okay.
And one of the skits he does is
that the guy that puts like the tape over his nose to kind of look like Voldemort?
No.
Or is it the guys we tried to have on?
It's the guy that said he wants to be on the podcast, but he's blown up.
Wow.
Yeah, he's blown up, and he has amazing videos. But anyway, one of
Okay.
his is a skit, and he plays both characters. So it's Sirius Black taking the mug shot in the prison, and he
Why does he
walks
do that?
in. Yeah, and he walks. So in the skit, Matt Bentley does. He walks in, and Sirius is like, "Oh, bro, I'm completely innocent." And the warden's like, "Oh yeah, no, don't worry, mate. They'll they'll look at your memories or Veritas. You'll be out of here soon." He's like, "Yeah, I'll be out of here soon." And then Sirius is like, "Yeah," and the guy's like, "Just take a mugshot." And so he takes a mugshot, and then the warden's like, "Oh, that's boring. Let's do a fun one." And Sirius is like, "Yeah, let's do a fun one." And so they take the
Wait,
picture,
what?
and then he's found guilty. And then they use that mugshot, and Sirius sees the warden. He's like, "Why did you use that picture? Why didn't you use
The happy one. It is hysterical to me. I think it's so hilarious. I don't know why they did that for the movie. I think it's incredible.
And who's doing tattoos in Azkaban?
All right.
I'm
Like, I get, sure, you're going for the whole prisoner motif, but
Fudge, are you through with that tattoo gun?
yeah, you through that paper? Yeah, you mind giving me some
taxpayer
ink while you're
dollars
here?
going there.
Like, what
Taxpayer
are we doing?
dollars.
So Dumbledore's given them their mission, right? Harry doesn't know what it is. Hermione does, for the most part, know what it is. Then chapter notable number 1. Remember, we talked about the time turner. We're introduced to it right here. It's not named, but it says
47 minutes into the episode, and chapter notable
number one. We're just getting our stride. This is a beast of a chapter. You know this. We warned you.
Yes, it is.
It's a beast of a chapter.
Yeah.
So Hermione was fumbling with the neck of her robes, pulling from beneath them a very long, very fine gold chain. She called Harry over to her, and she throws the chain around his neck too. Harry still has absolutely no idea what's going on, but Hermione turned an hourglass figure over 3 times. Then the dark ward dissolved. Harry had the sensation that he was flying very fast backward. A blur of colors and shapes rushed past him. His ears were pounding. He tried to yell but couldn't hear his own voice, and then he felt solid ground beneath his feet, and everything came into focus again.
And poor Harry, could you imagine being him in this situation? He just wants to help Sirius, and now Hermione is doing some crazy transportation magic on him with no explanation whatsoever. You thought she would have explained it to him first. I mean,
There's
they're
no
in an
time.
empty.
There was no time.
But then she explained it to him afterwards. So, yeah.
And you have to be a certain age to apparate, because God knows you could splinter something. But let's go ahead and throw ourselves backward in time.
Yeah.
We've
Duh.
got a magic necklace.
Duh.
Yeah.
We're good.
Yeah. So he and Hermione were now in the deserted entrance hall, and the sun was setting. They go into a broom closet, and she explains that they've gone back in time 3 hours. Before she could explain, she hears footsteps in the entrance hall and deduces that must be them. A few hours ago, about to head down to Hagrid's. Harry, she still didn't know what was going on. So Hermione finally explains, chapter notable number 2. It's called a time turner. You know, Olivia, do you want to do this quote? You got
the script? Olivia, do you have the
has-
script?
I have. I'm
Oh, yeah. Dude, Olivia, we want your best Hermione.
All right. Let's see. All right.
Is this your first time doing a Hermione impersonation?
I think this is it. Let me try and sound as highly annoying and intellectual as possible. It's called a time turner, and I got it from Professor McGonagall on our first day back. I've been using it all year to get to all my lessons. Professor McGonagall made me swear I wouldn't tell anyone. She had to write all sorts of letters to the Ministry of Magic so I could have one. She had to tell them that I was a model student and that I'd never, ever use it for anything except for my studies. I've been turning it back so I could do hours all over again. That's how I've been doing several lessons at once, see? But, Harry, I don't understand what Dumbledore wants us to do. Why did he tell us to go back 3 hours? How's that's going to help Sirius?
Yes. That was great.
That was
Great
a very
job.
that was a very American Hermione.
It was very
It was-
LA
it was-
Hermione,
It
but
was
we
a
got it
spot
right.
on American Hermione. Yes. Yes.
The British accent is hard to do for some reason, at least for me. I have a
gnarly.
hard time with
That's
it.
because you don't commit, Jeremiah. You have to commit to the
You know,
accent.
I've never been a voice actor, so
I've never been a voice actor.
come on, Hermione. Dumbledore clearly said, if all goes well, you will be able to save more than one innocent life tonight. Brightest witch of her age, all right.
I don't know what Dumbledore wants us to do.
Harry and Hermione fell
save a
upon the
couple
answer
lives?
immediately. Yeah. They're going to say Buckbeak and Sirius.
Yeah. Like, come on.
God,
I think Harry actually came up
Yeah,
with
Harry's
with
the
the
one.
answer
It's like, oh
first.
yeah, he told us to
Yeah.
do that. Let's go save Buckbeak and let's save Sirius.
Well, I like
So-
how he came up with the whole story. We're going to say Buckbeak. We're going to fly him up to Sirius. I was like, dang, Harry.
We got this. He gave
You,
us.
you do have smarts in there.
for real. After Ron spent hours upon hours researching how to save Buckbeak in the first place, can we please give him some decency in this situation? Because poor
Oh,
guy's
yeah,
in the hospital wing.
Yeah, poor.
The what's it called? The appeal? Yeah, we'll get to that here shortly.
Yeah, the appeal. Okay, so Hermione reminds Harry that while all this is going on, they've gone back in time to 3 hours. They cannot be seen by anyone. But then Harry brings up, okay, we've got to get down to Hagrid's. We've got to save Buckbeak. And then we've got to get Buckbeak up to where Professor Flitwick's office,
The 13th window on the something
west from the West Tower. And then we've got to be back at the hospital wing 5 minutes to midnight. So Hermione's like, this is going to take a miracle to save them both while remaining unseen.
Well, and I'd be
But-
mad too. Like I just said, the 13th window from the something. I wouldn't know where to go. Like, where am I supposed to? Why did he say it like that?
You know,
What
but here's
is
the
that?
beautiful thing. It's obviously when they get up there, it's almost midnight,
Yeah.
right? So there can't be a ton of lights on.
No.
You're hoping that there are only a few lights on. So you're like, 7th floor? There's only 2 lights on. Well, that one's only 7 from that tower. It's got to be that one over there. Like, hopefully.
And the whole time, Hermione's like, hurry, hurry, hurry.
Yeah, I'm counting and I've got my compass out here. Jeez.
Yes.
So
Now you keep mentioning that she keeps reminding Harry you can't be seen. So
Mhm.
this is one of the questions that I really wanted to rabbit hole with you two.
Yes.
the rabbit
All right.
hole. I'm in.
So Hermione does explain to Harry that McGonagall informed her terrible things can happen when, people have traveled back in time. She's like, Harry, you could attack yourself. We get it. We all know what we're thinking. However, would past Hermione not know that this could be a possibility that she could see future self? Knowing Hermione's personality, do you really think it would be the end of the world if she saw herself? Because past and present Hermione has the knowledge, has the information. She is doing this. I think she could handle it.
They
I
kind
just
of
don't see
answered
why
that
it's not
in
a
the
big deal
movie.
for her.
Yeah, they kind
Yeah.
of answered that in the movie. So when they're outside of Hagrid's hut,
Movie's not canon. Whatever.
well,
Well,
Hermione
she doesn't like her
throws-
hair. Hermione would never complain about her hair. Anyways.
Does
Well,
she do
she-
that? Does she
she
do that in
see-
the movie?
And that's why she almost sees herself.
Yeah, and then Hermione, like inside the hut,
no.
thinks that she saw her. No. They were outside getting ready to throw the rock, and Hermione turns around because she heard like a twig snap, and she saw herself.
Yes,
And
she
she-
sure did.
She didn't care. She's like, "Oh, okay."
So I've thought about this as well. And I think that if Hermione, who has the time turner,
Yeah.
sees Hermione, I don't think she would do anything.
I don't think so either.
However, because she's with Harry, Ron, and Hagrid at one point,
Mm-hmm.
There's no telling what they would do or they would assume. But I think, because Harry would probably be confused. Remember, a lot of this stuff is still new to him.
Okay.
Right? A lot of this stuff is new to him. So I think both Hermione's can be like, hey, and they both pull out the time turner. They're like, hey, not supposed to tell you this. This is how I've been getting to all of my classes this year. Boom. 5 seconds. I think that Harry and Ron trust present and future Hermione.
Right, yeah.
And I don't think they do anything.
And can't we
even-
just blame Polyjuice Potion? Because that was also something that I kind of thought of. Like, if you truly are about to just be like, okay,
True, yeah.
gigs up. Yeah, I eat Polyjuice Potions. Like, I can't imagine it's so drastic. You see it yourself, you attack. I don't know. I think that it wouldn't be
Yeah.
the end of the world. Like, in Marvel, it's a huge thing. I don't know if it's a huge thing here.
Well, remember, Captain America did run into Captain America, and Captain America tried to kill Captain America. So
He did do that, didn't he? Because
I mean, he did
he's
do that.
Captain
So
America.
that's
Personality.
That's
They are over.
I've thought about that as well. It's like, would it really be so bad? But I think
They are overcautious as well, because drunk
Yeah.
Hagrid's walking up to the castle and they're like, "Oh no, he can't see us." I'm like,
well, this
"Why?"
is before that. Right now they're going down, and Hagrid's not drunk yet.
Yeah. After though, I'm like, "Why can't he see you? He wouldn't
Why
think
can't he
anything
see
of
you?
it. He's
Why
drunk."
would he think
Exactly.
Hagrid wouldn't know anything?
Yeah.
Right.
No,
It's
I
so
get it. So-
interesting.
Yeah, I think it.
As good as these last chapters, the last handful of chapters are, there's a lot of inconsistencies in them.
Well, it's not. I don't think this is an inconsistency. I just think that.
No.
I think part of it is that Hermione, being Hermione, promised McGonagall
Okay.
to strictly follow the rules,
Okay.
and I don't know.
And here's
'cause-
Dumbledore being like, "Break the rules, Hermione. Go on 3
Go ahead and-
turns.
yeah,
You're
go ahead and
good."
break the rules, and we don't know all of the things that McGonagall told Hermione. Like, here's what can happen. Here's what has happened.
She probably
when
tried to
people have done-
terrify her. Just like
yeah,
if you
I'm sure
probably
Hermione
tried to-
already knew.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
don't do it. So anyway, this is what we hear. I hate emails nowadays because everyone's politically correct, and we just had a snowstorm here, so things were being canceled, and every email, every post was out of an overabundance of caution. We have decided to close today. So Hermione, out of an overabundance of caution, wants to remain unseen by anybody
valid.
so that they don't mess up anything. So they leave the castle, they go down, they're going to go down to near Hagrid's, they're going to go towards the forest, around the greenhouses, and they get down, they're in the woods, and they hear themselves, because remember, past Harry, Ron, and Hermione are under the invisibility cloak.
At one point, she goes, "I hope nobody was standing at their windows."
Yeah, and it's like they can't see the other kids in the invisibility cloak anyway. But it's okay.
can't.
We love you, Hermione. You are you've become a worrier, not a warrior, a worrier at this point. So they hear themselves knock. Hagrid lets them in. So once they go inside, Harry and Hermione sneak a little closer to Buckbeak so that they can prepare to try to set Buckbeak free. And Harry's like, "Let's do it now." And Hermione's like, No. We can't. We can't do it now. And so they're listening to the conversation, things that are going on in Hagrid's hut, and then we hear the milk jug shatter from inside.
Yeah.
And that's when they realize Hermione has found Scabbers. And this is chapter notable number 3, a side quest. Harry's immediate thought: why can't we just go in there and grab Scabbers?
Yeah.
Right? And Hermione's, no. Don't you understand? We're breaking one of the most important wizarding laws. Nobody's supposed to change time. Nobody. Here they are changing time. Just wanted to throw that out there. Mm-hmm. You heard Dumbledore. If we're seen,
We'd only be seen by ourselves and Hagrid.
Harry, what do you think you'd do if you saw yourself bursting into Hagrid's house?
I think I'd gone mad, or I think there was some dark magic going on.
Exactly. You wouldn't understand. You might even attack yourself. Don't you see? Professor McGonagall told me that what awful things have happened when wizards have meddled with time. Loads of them have ended up killing their past or future selves by mistake.
And this scene here shows how much Harry respects and trusts Hermione. We all know he wants to get Scabbers. Peter is the reason his parents are dead, but Hermione warns against it, and he follows her lead, which I would have been right there with Harry. Like, he's right there. This could all be over right now. Like, let me just go grab him. But then we also don't know the spell that they used to transform Peter back into his human self, right?
Yeah,
they said there was a burst of blue light or something like that. I even looked it up and couldn't find the spell. So even
I would
if he
assume
did
it's like a Revelio type spell.
I mean, even if he did grab Scabbers, he wouldn't be able to do anything. I mean, I guess he could take him to Dumbledore.
You take him to Dumbledore.
Probably,
yeah, exactly. Yes.
Tell a trusted adult.
But
what? What?
Exactly.
What are we doing here? We'll figure this out.
Harry Potter issues.
Yeah, you forgot who we're talking about. Yeah. Just then, they see Dumbledore, Fudge, McNair, and an old committee member. That's the third person we were missing before, coming down from the castle. Remember, we were trying to remember.
We were like,
there's
who
three
was
of
the
them.
other one?
Third?
Just an old committee member.
Yeah. Within a few moments, past Harry, Ron, and Hermione leave Hagrid's hut and slip the invisibility cloak over themselves. The group coming down from the castle entered Hagrid's front door. McNair looks out of the back window and confirms that Buckbeak is there. Chapter notable number 4. Once he moved from the window, Harry snuck over to Buckbeak. He made eye contact, bowed. Buckbeak bowed back. Then Harry untied Buckbeak's rope from the fence, and he was able to pull him into the forest.
Boom.
Just then,
innocent lives saved.
Yeah. The men exited Hagrid's hut to find that, well, there's no hippogriff there. McNair was pretty upset. Did you have something to say?
I was cheering. I was cheering.
I just seen you go. Okay.
I'm Dwight Schrute when he sees a fire truck.
McNair was so upset that there wasn't going to be an execution. He believed that someone untied Buckbeak and they should search the grounds, and Dumbledore responds in typical Dumbledore fashion. McNair, if Buckbeak has indeed been stolen, do you really think the thief will have led him away on foot? Search the skies if you will. Hagrid, I could do with a cup of tea or a large brandy. Once the man went, just let him. He just doesn't care. He's just, he's gone.
So nonchalant.
Yeah.
Once the men went back into Hagrid's hut, Hermione came up with a plan. They would have to wait there until everyone made their way back up to the castle. Harry really loved that. And then Harry loved this more. They'd have to wait another couple hours so that they could fly Buckbeak up to Sirius.
Now, I have a question. When you read the scene where Dumbledore is in the hut, and so McNair has looked out the window, he sees Buckbeak, he comes back in, and then Fudge is like, okay, I've got to read this official decree before we can go through this. There's a part in there where they're about to do it, and then Dumbledore's like, oh, wait. You've got to sign right here. It almost seems like Dumbledore is stalling.
Yeah, I completely agree.
Do we feel like Dumbledore already knows what's going on?
Yeah, I made note of that as well. I think it was stalling.
I mean, that's why the whole thing. So that's why I love Dumbledore. Like he sets Harry and Hermione onto this task.
Yeah, knowing
full well that he's got it under control.
Yeah.
Right. And so it feels like Dumbledore knows exactly what happens, and it's It's like, okay, Dumbledore.
And this was supposed to be an appeal right here, right?
Yeah, there's going to be an appeal. Lost the appeal.
We're here for the appeal, Hagrid.
Yeah,
Here's your
lost it.
signature. We're going to take his head off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then, so they're like, okay, we got to wait for them to go up to the castle. Then we got to wait a couple of hours. But Harry's like, we can't wait here until the men go back up to the castle because we have to be by the Whomping Willow so that we can see when we need to take Sirius or when we need to take Buckbeak up to the castle. Also knowing that they needed to stay out of sight. So they've got to find a place over by the Whomping Willow where they can see what's going on, but that they can't be seen, which feels a lot harder now that you've got Buckbeak.
Yeah.
It feels a lot harder now that you've got Buckbeak. So they made their way around the edge of the forest. They're doing their best to kind of stay concealed, situated themselves behind a clump of trees so that they had a great view of the Whomping Willow, but couldn't be seen. So then they're there and they're like, okay, now we see Ron spontaneously burst into view. Obviously, he's running after Scabbers. Then we see Harry and Hermione run after him.
Very quietly running after Scabbers.
Yes, right. They see Ron dive, grab Scabbers. He tries to fight Crookshanks off. Then we see the great black dog come bounding toward them. He latches onto Ron's arm, drags him into the hollow of the base of the Whomping Willow tree, ultimately breaking his leg, which is such a terrible scene for me to read. Once they all made their way into the Whomping Willow, just a moment later, Dumbledore, Fudge, McNair, the old committee member, they make their way back up to the castle. And Harry's like, oh man, like, dang, if Dumbledore just would have been here and seen what was going on. And then Hermione's like, then maybe they all would have gone in there and Fudge might have killed Sirius Black on sight. So
yeah.
Pros and cons here. You're like, Debbie Downer, Dumbledore wouldn't have made that happen. Dumbledore wouldn't have let that happen. So everyone calm down.
And Fudge would have tried to do that. So,
Fudge would have been so shocked. Fudge might have peed in his pants.
Sure.
If we're being honest. From what we know of Fudge, he might have just passed out. Or faked a cramp or something. Like, save me, Dumbledore. Dumbledore, I've forgotten how to use my wand.
What should I do now, Dumbledore?
Yeah, what should I do now? Yeah. Must send Dumbledore an owl. Oh, he's here, Dumbledore. Black, take him into custody. Sirius, what are you doing here?
Uh-huh.
So anyway, the four men, they go up to the castle. Just a few minutes after that, Lupin runs into view, and he runs towards the willow. He uses a stick to jab the knot at the base, at the trunk. All the branches go still. He enters the hollow at the base of the tree. More side quest action, because Harry is thinking of all possibilities here. Now he contemplates rushing out and grabbing the invisibility cloak. He's like, gosh, I wish Lupin would have grabbed it. That way Snape can't get it. But Hermione's like, no, don't do it. It's too risky. Harry's like, I listened to you earlier one time and it worked out really well for us, so I'm not going to listen this time. I'm going to go do it. But she grabs him just in the nick of time, because as he was about to make a dash for it, drunken Hagrid comes walking by, making his way up to the castle from his cabin.
Yep.
Would it been a big deal if drunk Hagrid had seen future Harry?
The only thing I could think of is Hagrid would have tried to talk to them too long, and they needed to,
I could see
be
that.
somewhere. Yeah,
I can see that.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to.
Only thing.
not trying
Other
to,
than that,
we're not trying to change things too much. I get it.
yeah.
I get it.
Butterfly effect.
So Hagrid goes up to the castle. Then a few moments later, Snape runs down from the castle, finds the cloak, puts on the cloak as he's using the stick that Lupin used to calm the tree down, and he makes his way towards the Shrieking Shack. And now Harry and Hermione just have to wait.
Dumbledore reminds me of the person that knows exactly how things are supposed to work, and then proceeds to watch everybody do the exact opposite, and just go, that's not how that works. That's not how that works.
And we know from what we know, having read the entire series, the prophecy, Dumbledore heard the prophecy. Harry's 13, so he heard the prophecy 12 years ago. Right? Neither can live while the other survives. So we assume, the assumption is that Dumbledore realizes what Harry's in for ultimately.
Yeah.
And just textbooks and classroom work isn't going to prepare him for that. Because a lot of people hate on Dumbledore for like, oh my gosh, you could help Harry out a little bit more. And I think Dumbledore is acting under the assumption that if it comes down to Harry having to do it by himself, will he have had enough preparation to competently do that? And I think, and this is just my personal theory, I think in book 1, Dumbledore did err in leaving the castle and going, like when he was tricked, he got the owl that said they needed him in London, and then Harry, Ron, and Hermione tried to stop. Obviously, they thought it was Snape, but Quirrell, ultimately Voldemort, and Dumbledore got back in the nick of time.
Yeah.
To help Harry. So I think now he is very calculated in, okay, what can we allow Harry to do?
Well, I don't think the letter from the Ministry that he got was a letter from the Ministry at all.
Oh, of course not. That's why I say he got duped by the letter, letter from the Ministry.
Yeah.
So there's a lot, and some people, I've heard all sorts of people like, no, he's uncaring, or different things like that. But I think, at least in this situation, I think we know that Dumbledore has a grasp on what's going on.
And not only that, he has a grasp on his reactions and thoughts. And if you see somebody doing something wrong, you get mad. You're like, that's not how it's supposed to be done. That's not what I learned. That's not common sense. Have common sense. And Dumbledore's just like, let's see how this plays out.
Common sense in the wizard
It's not
world.
going to win.
I didn't know that existed.
Is that a thing? Is that?
We've yet to see it, fellas.
Yeah.
Might be as much as the thing as Harry and Hermione and Ron going to an adult for help.
Amen.
What's that now?
Yes. So now that Harry and Hermione are safely hidden and have nothing to do, Hermione realizes she hasn't had the opportunity to talk to Harry about that evening's events until now. She asked him about the strange behavior of the Dementors and why they all retreated, and when, they could have easily performed the kiss on Sirius. She remembered all the Dementors being there, but then she passed out. Harry sat down too. He explained what he'd seen. How, as the nearest Dementor had lowered his mouth to Harry's, a large silver something had come galloping across the lake and forced the Dementors to retreat. Hermione sat stunned and asked what the silver thing was. Harry responded by saying, "There's only one thing it could have been, to make the Dementors go. A real Patronus, a powerful one." Hermione asked who conjured it. Chapter Notable number 5. It must have been a real powerful wizard to drive all those Dementors away. If the Patronus was shining so brightly, didn't it light him up? Couldn't you see? But Harry hesitated to answer. He saw the person who conjured it. Well, at least he thought he saw the person who conjured it. Harry explains that he thought he saw his father on the other side of the lake, and Hermione, being the logical one, as I would respond the same way Hermione did, she's like, "Well, your father's dead."
She puts it so insensitively.
Yeah,
So not like her. I can't.
Harry, your dad's dead, bro.
But he knew what he saw, and then he passed out before anything else. So he knows he could have been wrong, but he's made it pretty clear that he saw his dad. Very clear.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I wrote a note about this point because while she makes the very blunt comment, "Your father is dead," she also pitches the concept that it could have been Harry's father's ghost. We know that ghosts obviously exist in the wizarding world, and later on in Order of the Phoenix, we get a lot of information about ghosts, which I find quite interesting, directly from the source of Nearly Headless
And we
Nick.
don't get many ghosts in this book, do we?
No, so I think
There's
this comment
not
is
much
very
activity with
interesting.
ghosts.
So of course I had to do
Yeah.
some digging. So ghosts in the wizarding world are essentially imprints. Yeah, they can interact socially, but they don't really contribute anything. Nick will describe himself as an imprint. He's just not fully the person he once was. They don't evolve, they don't age, they're kind of in a loop. You choose to become a ghost, and that choice is as a result of being scared to die. I kind of tied this to Prisoner of Azkaban, and I said that I think this conversation that will happen in Order of the Phoenix is very powerful and very sad because it opens up one of the most central themes of Harry Potter. Fear of death is going to lead to a diminished version of yourself, Voldemort, while acceptance of death leads to peace and wholeness, spoiler, Dumbledore. And essentially, Harry's conclusion with Black, the longevity of their relationship, it's very short and it's very put off. They don't get a lot of time spent together, but when they do get together, they share few words. And I just think it's synonymous of this whole concept of life and death in Harry Potter. And this scenario, we can assume Hermione knew better that it could not have possibly been a ghost because ghosts can't do magic. I think she was just trying to be polite. But I do think mentioning ghost when she mentions ghosts is relevant because of the central theme that we see throughout this series.
Good tie-in. Yeah.
Well,
I forgot about the whole thing with saying, I forgot about that.
Well, and let's go a step further. I love that you bring that up, Olivia, because there are two instances where Harry's father and mother protect him in future books. Really one true. And so obviously if you go to book 7, he's got the resurrection stone. He's about to go see Voldemort. You know, he holds the resurrection stone. You see Sirius, Remus, James, and Lily. So like they're there and they comfort him and guide him. But if you look at one of my favorite scenes in the series, the end of Goblet of Fire, right? The end of Goblet of Fire, where Harry and Voldemort, the wands, the Phoenix cores, right? You see Frank, is that the gardener? Frank in Goblet of Fire?
Yeah, the last person.
We see Frank, right? We see. Do we see the girl? Do we see? Or I can't remember. Voldemort kills.
Obviously you see Cedric.
Yeah, you see Cedric, and then you see his mother, and you see his father, and they're like, we will distract. So we know there are different variations of, because a ghost is just an imprint, it's just a memory, right? It's a memory of their self. And the way that we see James and Lily in a couple of different situations, and we can assume that Hermione has read many books with many different many different. So her saying ghost at this point, maybe it could have just been dumbing it down for Harry.
Yeah.
Her way of saying, was it really him?
Yeah.
Or was it just a magical, impression of him? But even then, they're not doing magic.
Yeah.
They're not doing magic.
That's true.
But what's cool about this, Harry having time to think while they're waiting, he has the thought, did Moony, Wormtail, Padfoot, and Prongs all visit the Hogwarts grounds tonight? Like, has it, decades ago? Like, did they do that again? Yeah, it seems ridiculous because Harry Potter's dad is obviously not there, but anyway, so they waited, and then finally movement around the Whomping Willow brings him back. So we see Lupin, Ron, and Pettigrew come out of the willow first, then came Hermione, then a drifting unconscious Snape, followed finally by Harry and Sirius. They've had their conversation. Past Harry is elated at this point that he doesn't have to go back to the Dursleys. And as this group starts walking towards the castle, Harry is now anxious about the chaos that's about to happen. The clouds part. Lupin transforms into a werewolf. Sirius tells them to run. Sirius, in dog form, now pulls Lupin away.
Yeah.
And then Hermione gives Harry a pleading warning to remember, we've got to stay put. We mustn't be seen. There's nothing we can do. There's nothing we can do. We came to help Sirius. We're not supposed to be doing anything else. Because once Lupin transforms, that's when Pettigrew does his thing, and then he transforms, and that's when he ultimately escapes. And you know Harry is like, it's all chaotic. Anyway, let me just run out there and grab Peter. But she's like, no, don't do that. Harry knew she was right.
Yeah.
He stayed there, bracing for what happens next. So we get the transformation, and then Harry realizes that when Lupin runs into the forest, he runs directly towards where Hermione, and Buckbeak are. So they're like, we gotta move. So they run as fast as they can to Hagrid's hut. And what's wild is, and this, I would hate this if it were me. They're running towards Hagrid's, and they can hear the werewolf howling behind them. Well, I don't like that. I don't like stuff behind me. If I'm running,
Right.
I'm reading this, and I'm like, I'm running wand over my shoulder.
It's like your nightmares when you're
just
young.
blasting,
Yeah.
just blasting. I'm just doing random spells behind me. What works on a werewolf? I don't care. Boom, boom, boom.
But you
So-
guys, this was a question I was going to ask you guys. Why did they run away on foot? Why did they not hop on Buckbeak's back and just go surveillance style around the freaking lake until the time came?
You
Because
beat
this
me to
scene-
it.
Like, this scene in the movie gives me such anxiety when they're like behind the trees and it's like, oh my God, can you imagine how they felt? Get in the freaking air. What are you doing?
You have a flying machine.
Correct.
And your plan is to already fly him.
Correct.
And you're like, you know what we
It
got to
kills
do to
me.
get? We've got to run. We've got to run.
We've
from
got to
this
run
werewolf.
and try to hide
Me
Buckbeak,
too.
which is
I love it.
impossible.
I love it.
I can't.
love it.
It's incredible.
I love it. So, after running for their lives, they make it back to Hagrid's cabin, and they all run in. And then Harry realizes from the cabin's viewpoint, they're not going to be able to know what happens next. So Harry's like, I got to go out there. And Hermione's like, Harry, I don't trust you. You're going to intervene. And Harry promises, okay, I'm not going to interfere. And then he leaves. And he hears the yelping from Sirius. So he remembers, okay, cool. He's going to be down by the lake. This is where the Dementors come. I want to run around the lake because I know somebody's going to be there, and I'm 99.99% positive that it's my dad. So he runs as fast as he can to the edge of the lake so that he could see who cast the Patronus. Definitely wants to see his dad, but he gets to the lake and no one's there. So he's looking across the lake to where the Patronus was coming from and to where Sirius is lying, and then soon to be he is lying, and then to soon to be Hermione is lying. And nothing is happening. Nobody's there. And he knew. He's like, okay, cool. I look over there. Here, there's his weak Patronus that barely holds off one Dementor. And then Harry realizes nobody came. And then Harry raised his head to look at the circle of Dementors across the lake. One of them was lowering its hood. It was time for the rescuer to appear, but no one was coming to help this time. And then it hit him. He understood. He hadn't seen his father. Chapter Notable number 6, he had seen himself. Harry flung himself out from behind the bush and pulled out his wand. Expecto Patronum.
Oh,
yelled.
come on. No.
Expecto Patronum!
It's one of the best scenes in the movie.
It is.
You
It's
have
so
to remember
beautiful.
that one, Andrew, right?
Now.
No?
Now. Yes,
Oh.
I'm saying now.
Okay.
Now. Have you ever heard of the bootstrap paradox?
Not me.
If I said, cool, I'm not the only one that gets to say no. Yay!
So the bootstrap paradox is when you learn something from a future time traveler. Okay? So if a time traveler comes back in time and teaches you how to build a time machine, you didn't learn that in the present. You learned that from the future.
Mm-hmm.
So you have an example here in the Harry Potter universe of what's called a bootstrap paradox.
Okay.
The only reason that Harry in the present knew that he could do a thing was because he was taught it from Harry in the future. He knew that it could happen. We see this in Back to the Future a couple of times. We see this in other films a couple of times where something isn't learned in the present by someone in the present. It's taught from somebody in the future. So when Harry in the past sees Harry in the future, there's no new knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
There's no new skill. There's no new nothing. He just now knew. So where did the cycle start?
Chicken or the egg.
Right?
Yeah. That's
Right?
sick. That's a sick thing that I'm going to be stuck with forever. Thank you.
The bootstrap paradox.
Yeah.
It's yeah. And kind of what's interesting for me, at least, because I'll go into this in a moment, because time travel was introduced into this plot. So
yeah.
I will critique it. Yeah, it's just interesting because Harry never does a corporeal Patronus until he sees Harry do a corporeal Patronus.
Yeah.
Which is what he says on page 412. I knew I could do it this time, said Harry, because I'd already done it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she says no.
No, she doesn't get it. She's I don't know. Look, there's
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know.
But it was, even rereading this,
Mm-hmm.
I wish I could remember my thoughts the first time I read this, where it's like, oh my gosh, did he see his dad? We're in a wizarding world here.
Yeah.
Who am I to say he didn't see his dad? And then Harry's like, no, it wasn't me. And then as Jeremiah is about to talk to us, then we meet his Patronus, which is even more and I'll be honest with you, as a dad, I read things a lot now from a paternal standpoint. And I also have a dad that's going to be 70 this year. And my dad's dad passed away when he was 70.
Ooh.
Right? So my dad's in good health.
Yeah.
Had slight medical scares here. But I always think, I don't know when the last time I'm going to see my dad is. So I don't want to take advantage of, I want to take advantage of any opportunity that I have to be with him. But then I also think of, oh man, what if I died when I've got a 14-year-old daughter, right? What if I died when she was 1?
Yeah. Ooh.
Yeah.
Right? What if I died when she was 1 and she did not? She's got pictures or videos of me.
Yeah.
So she knows what I look like. Because remember, Harry's like, I've seen pictures of my dad. That's what he tells Hermione. I know what he looks like. And that looked a lot. And we know that Harry looks like his dad. So we can see where he would get that. He's not being foolish in it.
No.
But then for him to be like, I did it. But even while it's happening, and when he saw it in the present, he doesn't know what shape the Patronus takes.
Yeah.
So then this part, reading it again, I got a little like, oh man, like this is actually a very sincere, this is actually a very special thing for Harry.
Yeah.
This is a very, very neat, just a little detail of his Patronus that I really enjoyed reading it again this time.
And obviously he's not sad in this moment, or he couldn't have conjured it.
Yeah.
How incredible is that?
And you know, I've thought about that. Every time that Harry has done a Patronus, we hear his thoughts.
Yeah.
Even present Harry, when the Dementors were swarming him, his thought was, I'm gonna leave the Dursleys. I'm gonna live with my godfather. He's gonna be safe. Like these are his thoughts. So this one, we don't hear his thoughts, but we assume the thought is, oh my gosh, I know I can do it because I've already seen me do it.
Yeah.
Well, even when he's down there with the Dementors, Expecto Patronum, he starts to hear the screaming, and we already know he likes to hear it.
Yeah.
He knows he shouldn't, but he does. Yeah.
Yeah. So is that part of the reason why he failed down there to begin with?
Yeah.
Oh, I think the 100 Dementors.
Oh yeah, that too.
Yeah, that's
But
just.
I like the way you had me start off this.
Yeah, I did like that.
So, Harry, I am the chosen one. Potter. He was the one to cast the Patronus, like we were just talking about. Such a good plot twist. We then get a description of Harry's Patronus. Out of the end of his wand burst not a shapeless cloud of mist, but a blinding, dazzling silver animal. He screwed up his eyes, trying to see what it was. It looked like a horse. It was galloping silently away from him, across the black surface of the lake. He saw it lower its head and charge at the swarming Dementors. Now it was galloping around and around the black shapes on the ground, and the Dementors were falling back, scattering, retreating into the darkness. They were gone. The Patronus turned. It was centering back towards Harry across the still surface of the water. It wasn't a horse. It wasn't a unicorn either. It was a stag. It was shining brightly as the moon above. It was coming back to him. It stopped on the bank. Its hooves made no mark on the soft ground as it stared at Harry with its large silver eyes. Slowly, it bowed its antlered head, and Harry realized, prongs, he whispered. But as his trembling fingertips stretched toward the creature, it vanished. Yeah.
When he said prongs, I was like, oh my gosh.
It's so cool. It's like, I'm the one that did the Patronus, but the Patronus was my dad. Like,
that's diabolical.
And we learn later, in book 6 with Tonks, that our Patronus can have an emotion, an emotional, a special meaning to us.
Yeah.
Maybe not always assigned at first.
Yeah.
But it does have. So the fact that unknowingly,
I wonder what Lily's Patronus was.
Hers was a doe.
Bro,
Right.
are you
That's
kidding me right now?
That's right. Well, right now we're so focused on James. Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
You know,
Duh.
the moment
That was Steve. I'll see myself out, guys. I'll see you later.
Jeez. The patriarchy, Olivia. The patriarchy. Well, we're just worried about James.
I know.
Yeah.
Forget Lily. Forget her.
Let's do this. Let's throw a pop quiz in here.
Oh, let's do it.
A Patronus pop quiz.
This is fun.
What are Ron and Hermione's? Patronuses.
Oh, I know. Ron's is a terrier,
Uh-huh.
and I love it because apparently the breed is like loyal, and yeah. I want to say Hermione's is an otter.
And Jack Russell Terriers love to chase otters. So yes. So you've got James and Lily, the stag and the doe.
So do we know Jenny's?
We do know Jenny's, but it wasn't anything.
In association with his?
Yeah.
Because she cast it in the room of requirement, and I'm trying to picture what it is, but I don't know.
It's a horse. It's a horse.
I'm a chestnut stallion. Do you guys know what you are?
Harry Potter has me. Mine's a black mare.
Wow.
Yeah, mine's a black mare.
I don't remember mine. I just remember doing it and then going, "Oh."
Squib.
No, that is so
But
scary.
Andrew kind of brought this up, maybe last chapter, the chapter before it, like how
Okay.
disappointed he was that Harry, Ron, and Hermione learned about, the animagus and everything and didn't choose to be like, oh, you know what? That's a good idea. So what do you think Harry, Ron, and Hermione's animagus would be?
Wow. What a
Well, I
question.
think Harry would be a stag.
Especially now.
Especially now. I've thought about this before. I think Ron would be a very large animal just because he's always overlooked.
Yeah.
Or at least he feels like he's overlooked, not just at home because he has so many siblings, but now he's Harry Potter's best friend and it's all about Harry Potter. I think he would be a large animal.
Which kind of large animal?
I
I think it'd be like a wolf.
Ooh, I could see Ron being a wolf.
I could too, absolutely.
I see
Yeah,
Hermione. I see Hermione being like a falcon or an eagle or something that's really smart and really fast.
Yeah.
I went to smart as well. My mind went cat. Know it all, nosy,
Sure.
highly
What
intelligent.
if she was a phoenix?
That's
Oh,
Dumbledore's. That's Dumbledore's Patronus.
Is it?
It doesn't
And
say it
what-
in the books, but
And what your Patronus is what your animagus would be. Isn't that talked about?
so
some
it talks
point-
about it, but because there are so few
Mm-hmm.
animaguses, and we never see any animaguses Patronus.
Okay.
So it's like we don't know what McGonagall's Patronus is.
Okay.
It's still undetermined. I like to believe that it's true,
Mhm.
just based on what we see in book 7. I think Snape is an unregistered animagus. I think he turns into a bat. I think he can turn into a bat, but his Patronus is obviously a doe after Lily.
Valid.
So I don't think it's a requirement that your animagus is.
Wait, Lily's Patronus is a doe?
Give a load of this guy.
Hufflepuff. Am I right?
Hufflepuff.
Hufflepuff.
But
Yeah.
can you seriously expect Reader Skeeter to just be getting off in there, expect a Patronus to turn into a little
beetle.
What disappointing would that be?
Can you imagine the Dementors?
Just how disappointing.
Yeah. What is this?
Uh,
So maybe not. Maybe not.
Interesting.
but
Things we may never know for 200, Alex.
But before Harry could take this all in, Hermione and Buckbeak came running up behind him, and he was immediately chastised by Hermione. He explained to Hermione what happened, and she was just as amazed as Harry was. And then Harry admits that, well, I knew I could do it this time because I had already done it.
Bootstrap
Beautiful.
paradox.
Yeah. But before they could discuss it, they saw Snape arrive with Ron already on a stretcher. He bound Sirius and conjured stretchers for Harry and Hermione and began to take them up to the castle. Hermione tells Harry that they have about 45 minutes to get up to Sirius in order for their plan to work.
Yeah, so they've got to wait just a little bit more. Obviously, they got 45 minutes, but as they're waiting, they turn and they see McNair coming out of the castle. And they're like, okay, we've been waiting. That's McNair. He's got to be going to get the Dementors. So Harry and Hermione, they're like, okay, let's get it. They both get on Buckbeak, which Hermione was not thrilled, not thrilled whatsoever, so that they can fly up to Professor Flitwick's office. So they get up, they're outside the window, and Buckbeak is hovering in one place, right? He's flapping his wings, but he's hovering right outside, and Harry's able to tap on the window. So Sirius, is like jaw drops, like what is happening here? He comes to the window, but it's locked. And it's locked because Sirius is the most dangerous wizard that they know of. And there's no way that Sirius Black is able to get out of that window unless you're Hermione and you pull out your wand and you do a super secret, super difficult spell that they teach all first-year wizards.
Mm-hmm.
Alohomora.
See, this is where the movie did better.
Oh, what they do in the movie?
She pointed her wand at the door and said, "Bombarda," which made the door explode, which loud, but way more effective than Alohomora.
They did it. She did it at a door and not a window?
I think it was the door.
I think it's
something like that. Either way, she didn't use Alohomora.
I mean, you're gonna make me
Super
watch.
complex.
Make me watch it after this anyway. So
I think she said Bombarda.
I knew you were gonna have some kind of smart aleck response about this spell. I knew that you were going to, Andrew. I knew it.
Me?
Yeah.
No.
I just had this gut feeling.
Calling you out, Andrew.
I'm positive and upbeat.
I know. I knew you were gonna have to say something about it because how could we not talk about it? But you guys, I don't know what the solution was for her here with the writing. I don't know. Don't know what we could have done. I don't know.
Here's
well,
my
you
take.
have Buckbeak. I'm assuming there's a chain somewhere, maybe around Buckbeak's neck or something. You could have used Buckbeak to break in there also.
We could have.
Here's my take on all of this. Put yourself in Fudge's shoes.
Mm-hmm.
Right? This is the only wizard we've ever known that is broken out of Azkaban.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know how he did it. Fudge doesn't know.
They didn't. They forgot to lock the doors,
and they just left him alone in a professor's office.
Yeah.
Like not in a dungeon, not unsupervised. Not you've got dungeons.
Well, and we know there's spells that they could use to. Nope, just a simple locking spell.
Anything, stupefy, right? Let's make this man unconscious. But no,
Harry's favorite spell.
they leave him.
Huh. And he looks quite comfortable in the movie. He's just sitting there. He's a little shocked,
They probably assume he's unarmed. How's he going to get out? He's chained
up. He was unarmed in Azkaban.
Yeah.
The book doesn't say that he's chained
Usually
up.
Our go-to answer is magic. This time our go-to answer is fudge.
Fudge. So Alohomora, and the window pops open. Chapter notable number 7. Sirius gets onto Buckbeak, freeing him from the castle. They fly up to a tower where Harry and Hermione get off. Before Sirius can fly away, he turns to Harry and says, "We'll see each other again. You are truly your father's son, Harry." Which I love that he said that.
Beautiful.
He squeezed Buckbeak's sides with his heels. Harry and Hermione jumped back as the enormous wings rose once more. The hippogriff took off into the air. He and his rider became smaller and smaller as Harry gazed after them. Then a cloud drifted across the moon. They were gone.
Like I said earlier, these last handful of chapters are so good, but there's just also so many issues with, I don't want to say issues, but for lack of better words, there's a lot of issues with these chapters.
Sure.
Like we've made these last handful of chapters longer than they needed to be just because of all of the issues with it. I don't know. What do you think about, I think it was starting at chapter 16, 17 on is when the book really ramped up. Like it was almost a completely different book.
Oh
Yeah.
Yeah, it gets good. It gets good. And a lot of people say this. A lot of people say that about the series, about Prisoner of Azkaban.
Absolutely.
Like, book 1, great. Book 2, great. But book 3 is when everything becomes serious. Like it gets.
Was that a play on words?
Oh.
Whoa. No
You
pun
went there.
intended. No pun intended.
That is similar to my final notes I wanted to talk about with you guys. For me, Prisoner of Azkaban is just the money. Because although the trio have had to be brave in book 1 and book 2, for me personally, this is the first time I feel like their Gryffindor characteristics are actually on display. And this is why. In this book, we don't deal with a Voldemort issue.
We don't.
But the courage they have, specifically in chapter 21, I feel so lucky this is chapter we talked about.
Yeah.
This is where Gryffindor bravery comes into play, and here's why. In books 1 and 2, they are so brave. They're so little. They're so brave and so little. They didn't really know what they were up against. They just did it. This book, they knew what they were up against and chose to do it anyways.
Yes.
That's insane bravery.
And the lead up to books like 1 and 2, like it's just like, oh, there's this big thing we need to do. Let's do it. Oh now it's done. And this, there was a whole. It wasn't that. There was so much more to it.
You get a redo of the movie. It's insane, and I just love it because we finally get to see Gryffindor characteristics come into play. Because I think it's so much braver to know what you're up against and do it anyways, and they did.
Yeah,
I love it. I like. Obviously, I've got my issues with time travel. You know, it's like, oh, why don't you just go grab Scabbers? Oh, we didn't. Don't worry, I still have a time turner. I'll just turn back a little bit and grab him. Oh, you missed him again? Don't worry, I still have the time turner.
Right.
Exactly.
I'll go back and try to grab him again. Oh, while I'm here, I'm just gonna turn back in time and not let Peter be the secret keeper. We have a time turner.
How would this have gone if Hermione wasn't there? Like maybe Harry was the one with the time turner?
Impulsive.
Yeah, it could.
Yeah, it was just Harry and Ron, and Hermione was in the hospital with a broken leg.
No good. It needed to be Hermione for the story to stay linear. Yeah. It needed to be level-headed Hermione.
Obviously living here in Orlando, I've been to Epic Universe, and our new ride in Epic is the Ministry of Magic. I don't know if you guys know, because Universal's going to give you a story for the ride. The story is that it's Umbridge's day of her trial, and she gets free, and she steals a time turner to go back to the days of Voldemort. And it's an incredible ride, but I'm almost like, oh, because it's what we've talked about all episode. Why would anyone not just do that? Yeah. Why would anyone not just do it? I mean, it's one of the biggest plots of Cursed Child, Time Turner. So I don't know. It's just.
Oh really? I've not read Cursed Child.
He won't read anything that's not canon. I'm trying to get him to read the James Potter series, and he's like, no.
Technically, Cursed Child is canon. It was written by J.K. Rowling.
It was. They're going back in time to save Cedric, and
in Cursed Child.
Yeah, that's the goal. Yeah, to save Cedric.
No, I'm
I know.
definitely not reading it.
Yeah, it's I'm going to see it in New York in a couple weeks. I'm very excited because Tom Felton will still be there.
I was about to say Tom will still be there.
He'll still be there, so I'm really
Wait,
excited.
he's still? I thought he was
Yeah.
just doing the one and done.
They extended it.
No, they sign him on for the contracts are different lengths, but they sign him on for so many shows, and his was.
I love Tom. He's
I can't remember
he's
what it was.
awesome. He's awesome.
That's gonna
Yeah,
be
that's
great.
that's been fun to see.
It's got to be so exciting for him.
I know, right? And he deserves it. He loves this franchise.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, Olivia, we thank you for coming back and being our first
Yeah.
reoccurring guest. This was awesome.
Man,
And a great chapter to have you back on for.
I'm so lucky. You guys know last time I told you Leaky Cauldron is my favorite chapter of all of Harry Potter. And I mean, are you kidding me? Chapter 21 of Prisoner of Azkaban. I'm so lucky. So thank you
So
guys.
now you got to choose your favorite chapter of Goblet of Fire.
That's what I'm hearing.
Choose your favorite chapter of Goblet of Fire. Let us know, and you're on. We'll make it
We'll
happen.
do it. I love it, you guys. I could talk Harry Potter all day. So thank you so
Such a
much
long
for having me again.
What is
All right,
happening?
I'm gonna sign off. Good night, you guys.
See you,
Good night.
Olivia.
Oh, such a great chapter. We have
Great chapter.
one more chapter left, and then it's on to the final book review. And we have your daughter on for all the quizzes. Those are
Oh
like,
no, the quizzes. That's right.
it's the funnest part. It's one of the funnest parts of the book review,
Yes,
honestly.
Yes, the quiz. The quiz
And then
is
your
good.
favorite part, the movie review.
I
Now you're going to be like,
Love
oh,
it.
that's what Jeremiah was talking about.
I love it so much. I was like, oh, she did explode a door. Where did that door come from?
Yeah, it could have been a wall. I don't know. But
You know what though? I don't mind the first when I watched the movies, the first two movies, my kids watched it with me, so that was fun. So I'll sit down and watch it with them again.
there you go.
It's a good time.
Thank you all for listening. This has been such a fun episode. They're all super fun. And wherever you're listening to us, don't forget to press that follow button or subscribe button. And make sure you share this with, who is it they're supposed to share it with, Andrew? I always forget.
All of your Potter friends.
That's right. And don't forget that Lily's Patronus is a doe. Because it's easily overlooked.
Oh my god, that's so funny.
Join us next time while we cover chapter 22, Owl Post again. Andrew, go ahead and sign us out.
It is the quality of one's convictions that determines success, not the number of followers.
Squib's Corner is hosted by Jeremiah Lobaugh and co-hosted by Andrew Beecham, myself. We would love to hear from you, so drop us a rate and review. To inquire about being a guest, or if you have questions, comments, or just want to give us your Harry Potter story, email us at squibscorner@gmail.com. To watch Harry Potter merch unboxings, follow Jeremiah's YouTube, Accio Potter Guy. Lastly, you can leave us a voice memo and follow us on Instagram at Squibs Corner Podcast.